Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving deep into the story and review of one of the most iconic warships in naval history, the USS Enterprise, CVN-65. This wasn't just any aircraft carrier, this was the first nuclear-powered aircraft carrier in the world, and it was American. Built at the height of the Cold War, the USS Enterprise represented a major leap in naval engineering, military capability, and global power projection. And even today, long after its retirement, it remains a symbol of American naval dominance. So let's talk about what made the USS Enterprise such a legend. First off, launched in 1960 and commissioned in 1961, this massive ship wasn't just a feat of technology, it was also a political and strategic message. At over 1,100 feet long, it was the longest naval vessel ever built at the time. That's about the size of 3 football fields end to end. With its 8 nuclear reactors, the Enterprise could operate for over 20 years without refueling. Think about that, 20 years of continuous power, that alone made it a game changer. Now let's talk about the exterior design. From a distance, the Enterprise had a very distinct silhouette. It featured a sharply angled island superstructure and a broad flight deck that could launch and recover dozens of aircraft simultaneously. The ship had 4 steam catapults and 4 arresting wires, allowing for high-tempo flight operations. Unlike conventional carriers at the time, it didn't rely on fossil fuel engines, which saved space and weight, allowing more room for fuel and weapons for the aircraft onboard. The exterior was built to survive. The hull was designed to absorb shock from near-miss attacks, and the deck was armored to withstand damage. Over its service life, the Enterprise went through several modernizations, getting upgrades in radar systems, missile defenses, and aircraft support facilities. By the time it retired in 2012, it had served in nearly every major U.S. military operation for over 50 years. Now let's move inside the Enterprise. Unfortunately, a lot of the interior was classified, especially during its active years, but we do know some things. The ship was practically a floating city. It could house over 5,000 crew members, including sailors, pilots, and support personnel. That means it had everything: sleeping quarters, mess halls, gyms, medical facilities, a chapel, even a barbershop. Life on board wasn't easy, though. The interior was functional, not luxurious. Think narrow hallways, metal bulkheads, and the constant hum of machinery. The ship was always active, always moving, always ready. For entertainment and morale, there were TV rooms, a library, and even occasional movie nights. But make no mistake, life aboard the Enterprise was tough, demanding, and disciplined. Performance-wise, the USS Enterprise was unmatched in its time. Powered by 8 Westinghouse A2W nuclear reactors, it could reach speeds of over 33 knots, which is about 38 miles per hour, incredibly fast for a ship that size. And because of its nuclear power, it didn't need to refuel like other ships. This allowed for extended deployments without needing a support fleet to keep it running. It was a self-sustaining, mobile war base. When it came to its combat role, the Enterprise carried a full air wing, sometimes up to 90 aircraft, including F-14 Tomcats, F-A-18 Hornets, EA-6B Prowlers, and various support helicopters and surveillance planes. This made the Enterprise capable of striking targets thousands of miles away. It played key roles in the Vietnam War, the Cold War, Operation Desert Storm, and even in post-9/11 operations in the Middle East. It was a core part of American military strategy for decades. Maintenance and operation costs were high, though. Operating a nuclear-powered ship with thousands of personnel and dozens of aircraft wasn't cheap. Estimates put the annual operating cost in the hundreds of millions of dollars. That said, the value it delivered in terms of strategic presence, deterrence, and combat support was priceless from a defense standpoint. In terms of modernization, the ship was repeatedly updated with new radar systems, electronic warfare tools, and communications tech. While the core nuclear power system remained, many of its other systems evolved with the times, from analog to digital, from radar to satellite-based targeting. Even the aircraft launch systems were upgraded to handle newer, heavier, faster jets. Every upgrade extended the ship's life and relevance in the ever-changing theater of modern warfare. So, how do we review a ship like the USS Enterprise? Think of it like reviewing a supercar that also happens to be a floating airport, a missile base, a nuclear reactor, and a small city all in one. In terms of power, it was unparalleled. In terms of legacy, it was historic. In terms of design and engineering, it was ahead of its time by decades. The ship was finally decommissioned in 2012, after over 50 years of service, and officially removed from the Naval Registry in 2017. There are plans to preserve parts of the ship for museum display, but full dismantling is a slow, complex, and expensive process, mostly because of the nuclear reactors. As of now, the Enterprise remains in dry dock, waiting for full disposal. Still, it continues to inspire. Its successor, the USS Enterprise CVN-80, is currently under construction and is expected to launch in the coming years. That ship will be part of the new Gerald R. Ford class, a whole new level of advanced technology. But it all started with CVN-65. And finally, the price. When it was built, the USS Enterprise cost around $451 million in the early 1960s. Adjusted for inflation, that's more than $4 billion in today's money. But it was money well spent. For half a century, it was the face of American sea power. And even now, decades later, it continues to symbolize the strength, reach, and ambition of the U.S. Navy. So, in short, the USS Enterprise wasn't just a ship. It was a statement, a marvel of engineering, a tool of power, a home to thousands, and a legend in naval history. Whether you're a military enthusiast, a historian, or just someone who appreciates great machines, the Enterprise deserves respect. And as we look forward to the next generation of naval vessels, the legacy of CVN-65 will always be there, sailing strong in the annals of history. Thanks for watching. If you like this deep dive into naval history and want more content like this, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Let me know in the comments what ship or military tech you'd like me to review next. Until then, stay curious and keep exploring.